about?
We're at a stage where millennials are, late 30s, 40s. I'm Gen X. I'm a young Gen X.
Yeah.
So I'm closer to the millennials, and we're thinking about different stuff, and we're involved. We're voting. We've got our Gen Z kids, if they're able to, involved. They go to their protests at their high schools. They want to be active in their communities. So we've got a different type of young generation coming up, and they don't want grandma and grandpa to be running the country, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So that right there is why Biden should step down. Against Trump, stay in place, dude. Don't fucking move.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, we cannot. And I don't know, maybe, Nikki Haley likes to keep bullets in her stilettos. So I don't know, maybe that's an appeal.
You see,
it's the fuck out of me, though, because if she takes the wrong step, she could shoot herself in the no-nos. But,
I know. It's the thing. I desperately do not want Trump to be president. But it seems to me like the more time that goes by, it seems like the most. The thing that's most likely to get Trump into the presidency is Biden continuing to run, and it just scares the bejesus out of me.
In my opinion, it's not that, it's what's going on right now. Okay, so a couple of mornings ago, was it yesterday morning? I think it was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Wake up and, what's going on in the news? Had my first 2 sips of coffee, and there is a protest outside the DNC headquarters, where 100 people were arrested, and my minority leader Hakeem Jeffries and a couple of other people were barricaded in, and they were calling for free Palestine. Last night, they locked down the Golden Gate Bridge. They took cars, cars onto it.
As a Bay Area native, it was the Bay Bridge, actually.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Because I should know better. I'm from Washington State, and everything is Seattle. Everything is the Space Needle, even though it's not. Everything is. So I apologize for that.
No worries. No worries. That's okay.
So we have, and goes back to what I was saying, these young people are interested in what's fair is fair.
Yeah.
The legend of Billie Jean, right? Fair is fair. We just want what's right.
Yeah.
And they are empathetic, and they are interested in mental health, and they are interested in reaching down and grabbing the small guy and dragging them up the ladder with them, because they understand that there's power in numbers, and that empathy breeds better societies.
Yeah.
And we need a living wage.
Yeah.
And so all of these things that are important to these young people, and they are out there right now screaming it from the streets, that is having an effect on Biden's numbers. And there is a lot of talk on the talks and other social media that they might sit this out. And, if it's going to be Trump, it's going to be Trump. So this is actually pretty scary. I don't know if you talked about this on your show, but I've mentioned this on mine. I probably should talk about it again. I'm going to do it right this second. I'm just going to take a minute. Project 2025.
Yeah.
Now, all the way back in the 80s, there was a group that is still around, but they've kind of morphed because, that's what evil supervillains do. The Council for National Policy, which was created with the help of some people who were working in Reagan's administration at the time. And Eric Prince's mother, who helped fund it into existence. Eric Prince, owner of Blackwater, now Academy, or however you pronounce that.
Betsy DeVos's bro.
Yes. Yeah. And Jimmy Swaggart and lots of people. What they wanted was to put evangelical nutbags into political positions, into judgeships, into clerks in the court system. And over the last 50 years, they have been successfully doing that, culminating in Trump and getting all those Supreme Court justices and getting all of those federal justices which are important, guys, because we think that the only thing that's important is what goes up on Capitol Hill. And what's most important is states' rights. Remember that? So it's what's going on your Capitol Hill. So pay attention. Now we have the New Orleans getting denied access to clean water because they don't want to enforce arresting and fining a woman $100,000 for trying to seek an abortion. This all comes from what happened back in 1985. So now we have Project 2025, which if Trump or any Republican gets into that White House, this is what they want to do. They want to hopefully get Trump in on the next run. But if not, I'm sure they'll hold it because these guys are in it for the long haul. They're not interested in getting instant gratification like a lot of the Democratic Party traditionally wants. We want instant gratification. They are in it for the long haul. They will be satisfied knowing that their descendants will be living in their white supremacy Christian utopia. So we need to think about this. This isn't just Trump. This isn't just the insurrection. This is a fundamental change from a democratic republic to a theocracy, folks, and with states' rights all the way. So, this is
and Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley would be just as happy to implement it as Donald Trump. I think that's you're right. A mistake that a lot of the left makes is that this is all about Trump, and if we get rid of Trump and shake that hold that he has on the electorate, that all of this will go away. It won't. It's still there. It's always been there, and now it's strong and out in force. And
because they know they can get a figurehead. So all they need is a Mike Johnson. All they need. I mean, they're willing to take Ron DeSantis. He's willing to wear the heels. They're willing to take him.
the white boots. Yeah, you bet.
No, the cowboy boots, these clown-like cowboy boots that go all the way up like 10 inches. It's really weird.
Oh, is he wearing a different pair of them now? The last saw, he went to some hurricane place like last year or something like that, and he was wearing like white rubber boots or something like that.
Oh, no, this is beyond that. No, he's been wearing these cowboy boots that he's wearing on the campaign and to every debate. And I am a short woman. Okay. I'm 5'1".
Right.
So I wear like those wedge heel sneakers.
Right.
I always need a couple of inches so that at least I don't look like my children. And I wear them. I know what it looks like. His arch in these boots is so high. It's like Barbie. There's no way there isn't a wedge in there. And the man swears that he's 5'11", but he's 5'11" in 3-inch wedges.
Yeah.
I think he's probably about 5'9", which is nothing bad, because you know what? Good things come in small packages. Look at Daniel Radcliffe.
Absolutely. And I will say at this point, we should compare notes on boot brands at some point, because my wife is 4'10". So she, maybe we can collaborate and share some information in that way.
Yeah, we should write to Ron DeSantis and ask him
what brand. It's interesting. With the high heeled boots. Given his stand on drag shows and such, that seems a little drag showy. The kinky boots thing that he's got going on.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, he could probably get some leftovers from George Anthony DeVolder, Pratita Rashif, or whatever his drag name is, Santos, who apparently is getting a pink slip.
He's not well. I guess he's taken himself out of the running. George Santos has. He's not going to run for re-election, as if he stood a chance of that at any time. And since he was elected, basically, before he was sworn in, George Santos had so many scandals around him that it was basically a lock. He was not getting recommended, and yet still, even though he's taken himself out, the voters of his district in Long Island have almost certainly taken him out preemptively. The House Republicans so far have refused to take him out and remove him from the Congress. They're going to try again, and maybe this time they will finally succeed now that the writing is on the wall. But so far, as of this recording, they haven't managed to do it yet, and they've tried twice.
Okay, that's true. And you know what? Third time's the charm. Okay.
Here's hoping.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
What I find hilarious is that the latest attempt is the gentleman who's bringing the attempt.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Lawyer. Yeah, right.
There you go.
I'm looking for his Republican Mike Lawyer
Mike
from New York.
Lawyer.
He's a freshman, of course. He's just full of it. He says, and I quote, um, George Santos should end this farce and resign. If he refuses, he must be removed from Congress. This conduct is not only unbecoming and embarrassing, it's criminal. It's unfit to serve. He is unfit to serve and should resign today. Take George Santos's name out and put Old Drinks with Two Hands or,
Yes.
Comb Over Caligula. Just insert that name in there. It's the same. How, you know what? Not that Georgie Boy does not deserve this. He does. And that we don't deserve this because we do to watch. But
you see, Kevin McCarthy doesn't need him anymore. He's not in a position to, have to hold that margin. So I think they are getting ready to cut ties. Maybe this will actually be it. But the thing is, they are far more interested in ditching guys like George Santos, who like have this open, out in the air, like just repeated, like criminality, or someone like Madison Cawthorn, who talks too much about their cocaine parties. But
George Santos is openly gay, and they really don't like that. That's problematic for them.
Yeah.
He's Jewish. Like he's Jew adjacent, and that's problematic for them too.
Yes.
He scammed a U.S. veteran out of $3,000 for surgery for his dog.
Yeah.
And Republicans love the veterans and the military in general, so that's problematic for them.
He lied about his mom dying in 9/11.
Right, and that was our mission accomplished. Remember, that was Republicans. They got that job done.
Yeah.
Or something done. But they're saying that do they not realize the hilarious hypocrisy of this man Lawyer from New York? The conduct is not only unbecoming but embarrassing. It's criminal. He's unfit to serve, and should resign. And yet you have all this criminality going on and you're picking this guy. This is your line. You've got 91 indictments, Dawn, over there, but this is your line, George Santos. So you can say to the voters in 2024, we get rid of criminals. We do not tolerate criminality in our party. But what about Trump? Oh, no, he's not a criminal. This is all Biden. He didn't really do anything wrong.
91 counts.
Get rid of the criminals.
91 counts. I don't think George Santos has that many going on. And also, let's take a look at scale here, because for all the horrible things that George Santos has done, they basically impact a relatively small number of people, whereas Donald Trump is destabilizing the country, destabilizing the entire world, and wants to establish a fascist regime, a fascist revenge regime at this point. So that's a little more important than George Santos and is, while admittedly criminal, relatively small scale criminality. Trump is a little bit more important.
Absolutely. So this is their line.
Yeah.
And this is going to be their, hey, we do not tolerate criminality in our party. Because remember, we got rid of George Santos.
Yeah.
So no criminals in the Republican Party. Yeah. Look away.
No. Well, and it says, to the extent that the concept of the dog whistle still exists, no gay people, no drag queens in the Republican Party. I think that it basically reemphasizes their purity test in a way that they want to implement it. And
okay, but if you and your son monitor each other's porn activity on apps connected to your phones. That's okay.
That's right.
And it's not creepy, guys, even though it sounds creepy. And
it's not creepy at all.
I'm creeping myself out, but seriously, it's not creepy. It's totally